about item 6B, 6A, 6E, 6C3B, 6C2.
Okay. Any further discussion on the, yes, trustee Bachhorst?
I know that when you read the back, it's out of order, in the order of the bulletin, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So, you also got like,
Yes.
then, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. No further discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. So now we'll take up individual items. Trustee Carpenter? Oh, yeah, the really
We'd ask people to, ask people First item would be 6B, but they should not be on.
all right. So do we have? We don't need it. Okay. So the next one.
So then it is C2, the metro market.
Oh. I pulled that. I just wanted clarification. I read the memo and I think I understand it, but I'm still concerned about the minors. I didn't quite get that. The minors, unaccompanied minors, which I can my child's one of them, they go for lunch usually from high school, and there isn't any separation between the food court where they eat and the drinks. So how does that? I wasn't clear on how that worked.
Right, well, what the state legislature did is, there's a portion of chapter 125 which regulates beer and liquor. And there's a portion that specifically relates to presence of underage individuals on a place with a liquor license. And it says generally that they're not allowed unless accompanied by a parent or some other caveats to that. But in the exceptions under the statute, grocery stores are exempted from the regulation.
But is that for selling packaged beer and wine, or was that, I didn't see that?
That's how all of these grocery stores in Milwaukee, Waukesha, here, and elsewhere around the state. That's basically how they do it. I think that's why that exemption was created when they did create it. So basically what they're doing is there's another portion of chapter 125 that says you can't have a class A retail license and also a class B beer and liquor license. So what they've done is under the class B that's held by the grocery store, it allows them to sell unlimited amounts for off-premises consumption of beer and also wine. Technically, if you look at the statute, there's technically a limit up to 4 liters at a time of hard liquor, which is in between those two. And but as a practical matter, I called the woman at the state who has the territory for Milwaukee, and I said, "What do you do with that? Do you ever enforce that, or how do you even know what they're doing?" She said, "As a practical matter, we've never investigated it. We've never received a complaint because you could buy 4 liters, which is over. You could walk outside, step 1 foot on the sidewalk, and go back in and buy 4 more. So, as a practical matter, they can sell whatever they want." So. That's how it works. That's how the regulatory framework works.
Can I just clarify the question that I'd asked? For grocery stores, they're exempt. What I read in the statute, and it could be wrong, the way I interpreted it was because they're selling, not pouring. So, like if you're selling beer, most other grocery stores are pouring. They don't have bars in their grocery stores. So
yeah, there are some that do. I think there's 3 or 4 in there's one in Oconomowoc, I believe, as well. So, and I can actually call the woman who does the regulation and she does the inspections on the stores. And I said, the way I read this is that they're otherwise exempt. And she said, absolutely, that's right on. She said, that's the only way that they can do this is with Class B beer and liquor license. That's why the legislature created the exceptions. That's how it's being done.
So just to narrow it down, essentially you have these regulations around who can be there in terms of establishment serving alcohol, but there's this broad exception that applies to all grocery stores that basically takes some of that statute.
Right, basically that's
Trustee McKay.
I would like to make a motion to approve the Reserve Class B fermented malt beverage and intoxicated liquor license for Mega Marts LLC doing business as Metro Markets, number 6893 475 North Oakland Avenue.
Second. A motion made by trustee McKay, seconded by trustee Bachhorst. Further discussion, I just had one other question. And so the separation, so we were talking about, it'll come later on the agenda, but if you're serving food, then you might be able to just get your wine and beer license rather than your full liquor license. And because they have a complete food market, I know it's a 50% rule that you just talked about with or for food sales, this is, I mean, they have a food court. So,
I believe that was covered in the memo.
yeah, I didn't understand, he didn't explain, it just was a sentence that said that doesn't apply.
Yeah, my interpretation of it is based upon where they're selling, and there would be a question of whether or not it's the definition of the premises. There's not a separate area where a class A applies to retail, and then there's dividing wall or dividing entrance, then where there's the class B open practice service sold. The way I interpret it, I don't believe that they could proceed with a class C wine license. I did check, and again, I talked to one who regulates from the state, and she shared that same opinion. She said that all of the places that have this, they've got to have a full class B if they're going to serve wine. If they choose not to serve hard liquor, so be it, but they've got to have that other full class B if they're going to serve wine. So.
Even with food? Because then, okay, but
Yeah,
when
yeah,
that comes up, it's the same question.
Right, yeah, no, I think, well, the other issue too is, this was already, I mean, it would have they already have it, so they have property interest in it. If you wanted to take it away, we'd have to demonstrate non-use, so, I mean, that ship is sort of sailed already. Anyway.
Because drinking wine is use. I remember
Right,
our
exactly,
conversations.
right, exactly.
But in the future, they could have maybe been issued.
I'm still not convinced.
I'm asking
that they
which
would-
one.
Yeah, no, I'm still not convinced that they would qualify for a class C.
Okay.
I doubt it. I very much doubt it.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion. Any further questions? If not, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Next item? 6C3A, the Eco ATM.
Yeah, I just didn't know what this was.
Sure, so, my understanding is it's kind of like, it's like those claw machines or like almost an ATM, and you can distribute your old MP3 players or cell phones that don't work, and they'll give you cash for it, so that people don't throw them into the landfill, that they can collect it. So,
There's one of those in Metro
that's where they would be putting it, yes.
Oh, is it there now?
I don't know, I believe not, because we haven't approved it yet.
So they put in a license
Correct.
for it, but it's not, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I'll move approval of secondhand dealer pawnbroker license for Echo ATM, 10121 Barnes Canyon Road, San Diego, at 475 North Oakland Avenue.
Second.
So we have a motion by trustee Menta, second by trustee Warren. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
All right, 6C3B, secondhand for Swanky Seconds.
All right, this just got pulled because I need to abstain from the vote.
I'll move approval of the secondhand dealer pawnbroker license to Swanky Seconds, 2223 East Capitol Drive.
Second. All right, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Aye. Yes, yep. Okay, so vote is 6-1 and the one being an extension. Next one.
All right, 6E, consider 2019 committee payments for the bid board and community development board.
Trustee Mark.
Well, I had, this group had come before us last time, and I discussed my concerns about the appointment process, its transparency. In addition, the bid had recommended Rick Feisenbecker, from Northwoods, I think he's the manager there. Owner, as one of their recommendations, and that was also on the May 7th memo to the board as a recommendation from the village president. He has been bumped. He was bumped off when David Price was proposed. So I'm asking for a separate vote on these appointments.
Oh, okay. You mean, so,
So one for the CDA and one for the person?
okay, so, do you want to make a motion? Or do you, what? Do you have the first motion?
Do you want to?
Go ahead.
I'll move approval of Jean Weber as appointment to the Business Improvement District.
Second? Can I second my own recommendations?
I'll second.
Is that okay? So there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Trustee McKay.
I will just say, I don't like voting against a person who wants to serve and be a leader in our community unless there's a conflict of interest or something like that. So I wouldn't vote against this appointment, but I will say that I would ask you in the future to not override the bid's recommendations. They are a separate board, and even though you have the power to do it as president, I just don't think that it's good practice, and it's not necessary because they are an entity with their own knowledge of their business and their mission and their operations. So just in the spirit of collaboration, I asked this last year, I'm going to ask you again next year. Please do not override the bid recommendations for appointees.
And I don't need to respond, correct?
You don't need to respond, I'm asking.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
not a debate.
Okay. Any further discussion? Trustee Buckhurst.
I as well appreciate all the people that wish to serve on committees, commissions, boards, village board included. I also would like to, I guess, echo Trustee McKay's sentiments here. I reviewed the meeting minutes and the videos from last year's very heated discussion on the same process, and then also this last time around. And I know that we have undergone a lot of changes to how we are doing things, and some of them, probably for really good reasons, some of them maybe are unnecessary. And I also agree that even though you do have the power to bring forward individuals from the community, the bid has made some strong recommendations in cases for appointing certain people, and they've justified these requests with their needs and what they have been looking for. And they're very valuable community partners. And one of the things we have to remember as representatives is the need to maintain strong partnerships across the community, not just within Shorewood, but beyond. And we've been working towards that, and tonight we had a great example with the conversion therapy van of partnering with many different agencies in many of the municipalities, including Milwaukee, Wisconsin, whose ordinance that we've used, Eau Claire, and some other areas. So it's in maintaining those relationships, and also with the school board. We had a school board member, speak this evening, Mr. Leinhardt. We have many former school board members. We have people who are very active in the school community. And it's really difficult, as we know, in government, especially being attacked at the state level in so many regards, for us to maintain positive relationships and also to get work done. And it is incumbent upon us to collaborate often. We have diminishing resources from the state. We had the lowest levy increase, historically this last year. So we are doing a lot with very little. And if we cannot count on strong partnerships with others, then we're going to do far less going forward. And I'm still talking. I'll stand.
You don't need to stand.
That's okay, I feel like standing. And also, to that point, so just Just gonna take a pause for a second here. So we were just recently asked, I guess, by Assistant Village Manager Tyler Burkhart, had notified us that there is a strong need for volunteers for the 4th of July parade. And this does tie into my point here in maintaining a positive relationship with the BID and other entities, is that we need to collaborate. We need to rely on each other, and part of that is respecting each other's decisions and processes. We ask a lot of the community here at the board, and we ask for a lot of your trust. And I appreciate, what you have, given us. So when we have other entities like the school district or the BID, the Business Improvement District, the CDA, chairs of boards, committees, commissions, and so on, I do appeal to my other board members to see that we do respect the process and that we do understand and try to understand where they're coming from. And that even though we do have the power to override the decisions or the recommendations that they are making, that doesn't mean we should use it. Especially without a strong justification. And although I do appreciate the business, I was on the CDA and the board when Mr. Weber's business came to town, and I'm torn here for voting for him. And it's not anything to do with his application or who he is as a person or the type of business he has, all of which I hold with really high esteem. But it's because of the process. And if we can't respect the process that we've agreed upon, and this is not the first time that we have disavowed the process that has been in place to make these appointments, then I'm not sure why, what we're doing, we are wasting a lot of time in that quote-unquote process. We also, part of the conditions of the appointments have been applications. And the reason that we have both these members brought back to us this evening, the CDA and the BID, is because we did not have applications for these members at the last meeting, even though it was clearly outlined in the whole process as far as committees, commissions, etc., that all application materials were due. I can't remember the exact date. It's in our memo here. I think it was over a month ago. And part of that, where that leaves concern for me, and I'm sure some of the other board members can express a similar dissatisfaction, is that we have 260 some pages in our board packet that we had to read in order to prepare tonight. And that, and to make a decision without the proper materials, the proper application materials, especially when, as we've heard in the consistency and everything else that the village clerk would like, is that we have many people who want to serve in these positions. So we have had a plethora of individuals interested in this. We had a village, the BID, working towards this. So I will wrap it up here. But anyway, I have the floor and I have the authority to do this, but I will, it doesn't mean I should. It doesn't mean I should, so I will cede the remainder of my time to the village board. Thank you.
Trustee Mento.
I just want to say that I don't usually involve myself in the BID or BID decisions or BID operations. I mean, it's not an area of intense interest of mine, and I do try to focus on areas that I feel like it's difficult to be involved in everything, and I'm more concerned with infrastructure issues and budget issues, and I don't have very strong opinions, frankly, on the BID. But I do trust the village president who made this nomination is herself a business owner and has been a business owner for 7 years. And she has been a BID board member herself and actually was on the BID board before she ran for village trustee. And I trust that she made the nominations that she did with a more a deeper knowledge of the business district. I know just from conversations with her, I've learned a lot about the issues and difficulties of trying to run a retail business in Shorewood in the current environment. It's not, I tend to look at things more as an economist, like it's supply or demand. Either it's there or it's not. It's not that cut and dried. I've realized there's a lot of complexity to it. So I tend to, and also say, just from my observation, the things that the bid is proposing and is doing now is very different from what the bid was when I first came on board in 2015. So I trust that with her background and her insider knowledge, that the nominations she's making are based on rationale and justification, and I don't have any problem with approving her nomination.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Trustee, did you speak yet? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get everyone to speak at least once. Trustee Carpenter.
I just had a question about clarification, because in the last meeting, I thought that our vote was once these two appointments, applications were completed, that I thought we had approved their applications based on, or I thought we approved their appointments based on their applications.
From my recollection, it was, and clerk, you can help me out, but I do clear, we deferred the vote, but with the intent of bringing it back with an application. Does that, anybody have any different recollection?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any further discussion? Oh, Trustee McKay.
Trustee Menta, so is it your feeling, Trustee Menta, that
You
President
address
Rosser?
the chair.
Excuse me?
We
Okay.
try not to address each
Right.
other that way.
So I will not, I don't want to ask a direct question, but I'm just saying what I heard from Trustee Menta's comment is that because of your experience and knowledge that you are proposing that you have more insight into what another board would
What you
need
say.
or want.
I didn't hear it that way.
Okay.
But I want to remind you, there was seven.
I would just say that would concern me,
No,
that,
I agree.
because I know that my awareness of the process is that my request was that I will support these two appointments, because I know that they're two people that want to serve and they don't have a conflict of, neither have a conflict of interest in my mind. My request was that in the future, that we not override recommendations for appointment from the bid or from bodies that know, and that we combine our knowledge and experience to do the best and not do that in an override situation.
And my comment was, I just want to remind you, there were 7 appointments, and we did meet twice, right, Rebecca? And the third one was canceled by the bid. But regardless, out of 7, we agreed on 5, and there's 2 that were before you, 1 that passed last meeting, and then this one today. So, and I think I gave the explanation, which, in my opinion, they're both the ones that I recommended that weren't in agreement were food and beverage. And as of this point, there's only 1 food and beverage on the bid. So that was my rationale.
And that's an opinion that you held.
Sure.
But does that, I guess that's my question to the board for the future is, it's okay to have a difference of opinion. Everybody that was considered is very good, and it's okay for a board to choose. And so I'm going to repeat that in the future, I would appreciate if you could hold and find other ways to incorporate that knowledge and experience in your opinions rather than overriding
I hear what
the
you say.
integrity of another body.
And I'd like to answer that.
I'd like to call a question.
That sounds great. So the question has been called, and we will vote on. Judy, second.
I would second.
Okay. And then if it passes, we go straight to vote on the motion, correct?
Right.
Okay, so we're just calling the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 5-0. Now we will vote on the original motion. Which thing?
Mr. Maher voted no.
Oh, 5, sorry, 5-2. Okay, so now we'll go to the original motion. Sarah, would you like to read that back?
Yep, to approve Jean Webb to the Business Improvement District.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 6-1. And then we have one,
I'd like
trustee
to
Martin.
approve appointment of Dusty Marino to the Community Development Authority.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 5-2. All right, thank you. All right, we'll go on to the next item for business, which is,
We have no public hearings this evening. We've taken care of new business business 9A, so we are moving to new business 9B. Consider application for Class B intoxicating liquor and beer for CKC Trio LLC, doing business as Gather at 3948 North Maryland Avenue in Shorewood.
And is Rebecca having any thoughts?
And was this matter presented to the Personnel Committee at the last
Oh.
meeting?
So, yes, thank you for reminding me.
Oh,
So that means the JPL chair will tell us the vote, if there was one, and some.
So we did, sorry.
Go ahead.
We did not, we listened to their business model and we're exploring some additional options for a different liquor license option based on their business model and their food and beverage ratios. We, in our packet, there was some discussion, sorry, no, Sarah, do you want to maybe talk a little bit more about what you would have?
Sure, so the discussion that came up if they could qualify, because we're not a full-service restaurant, if they would qualify for Class C wine and a Class B beer. Unfortunately, because they are not a full-service restaurant, the Class C wine is truly only designated for a full-service restaurant.
Can you define full service? Is it different than counter service, or?
It's 50% of sales need to be food.
Okay.
So unfortunately, they would not qualify for a Class C wine. That was the proposed after checking with the Department of Revenue and verifying with Attorney Bear. They would have to pursue forward with a full Class C to serve the wine and
Is that like beef wine?
the wine also does have a full Class B, correct? So this evening you have two options. At this time, everything is included in their packet. I do believe we have members from the other here. If you'd like to ask some questions.
Trustee Warren?
Can I just ask a question just to get a baseline on the number of liquor licenses our village has? So I understand that we have 2 Class Bs remaining and one that hasn't been reapplied for the VFW. How many Class Cs do we have?
I believe it's
I don't think that really matters. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've always been told, that's our own decision, we can always change it.
Okay.
The only one we can't change the number of is the
Class B is the only one by state that statute that requires limitations around it. Shorewood has limitations around Class A and Class C. Those could be added at some point, but Class B we cannot. So at this point, Gather is applying for the last regular full Class B license. We do have one reserve Class B license available. There is another Class B at this time that has not been applied for. That would become eligible after June 30th if we do not receive that application. So we could potentially have 3 licenses.
Class B's cost $10,000?
The reserve Class B's cost $10,000. The regulars would
Trustee Warren, did you finish your
Yes,
question?
that answers my question.
That was
Okay,
my question, too.
Trustee Armenta.
That was my question too.
Oh, was you?
Which ones
Okay.
were $10,000?
Yeah, so this-
So the VFW one is a regular,
correct.
okay.
Trustee Carpenter.
I just had a question for the business owners. If this license is, if the license passes, is the location determined? Is that, yeah, so.
Why don't you come on, I have a question for you.
Come on the
microphone.
Whenever that's done. Just your name and address.
Thank you, my name is Chuck Marshall. My address is N96W7303 Coventry Street in Cedarburg.
Okay.
Questions?
So I was, it was just about, I think you guys were in discussion with the landlord and, so is that the location, is that based, or is the approval of the liquor license, the kind of the factor that you're waiting for?
Yes, there's a dependency, but we do have an executed LOI on that location.
Okay.
So there's some discussion going on by the landlord with the other tenants in that complex, but we executed the LOI to see that.
Thank you.
Trustee Menta?
So for the patio outdoor service, they will need to come back with an extension of premises or outdoor seating, or what will they need to do for that?
Mike? Just joking.
I don't believe so, because it's their. Oh, is that the patio, a city market? I
The
have to double check.
city market has the side patio, the front part of that side patio. We would have an expectation of use of part or all of the back portion of the patio. That hasn't been, the landlord hasn't committed to giving us full access to the patio. He's committed to some portion of the patio. So as we negotiate the final lease, that's one of the elements that will have to be decided.
Trustee Menta, are you done? And then trustee Maher?
Yeah, I mean, so are we gonna have any ability to regulate outdoor
Yep,
use and
I would
service?
believe they'd have to come back to Barton apply for outdoor seating.
Even though it's
But
not
that doesn't
right-
have the premises, is what you're saying.
There's ordinance
Trustee
on them.
Maher?
I'm not sure that, when they come with their license request, I think they need to specify what portion of their building and if outside on their property
Well, at
they
this time,
plan to
because
serve
Yep, the
liquor.
building is not built out, they would come back with what their premise description
Well,
is.
then
So
how do you
it's
get a
just
license?
listed as the address. Because they don't have it built to say, we know where our coolers are, we know where we're storing the liquor. It's not built out.
One of my concerns is the issue of, the application describes the address, and the patio is still open, and there are people living, the building is actually, and they have a small child, it actually comes out in front of the patio a bit, and they've applied, and your modeling indicates that you're gonna only serve wine to a very limited period, not like till 2 in the morning. But if we issue a liquor license, a full liquor license of this place, the business model could shift, and it could become, it's a bar license, so I think we should move cautious. I'm concerned about when you turn the corner, you're no longer on Capitol, you're no longer on Oakland as a bar, you're now coming around into the neighborhood. And I think we talked a little bit about what would be some ideas on screening. Is there going to be music out there? I'm just concerned about, it's really moving into the residential area. This duplex is pretty much kitty corner from it. So those are some of my, and the ability down the road to become a much later operation if they have a full liquor license. Is this a location that we want a bar?
Well, City Market has, not just play devil advocate, City Market has a full liquor license,
Right.
so does Falvo's. But I see what you're saying, it doesn't turn the corner. Trustee Bockhorst.
Those are interesting points, and has this discussion come up before during zoning and other, when we're evaluating these premises?
Yes,
Because
so there's five, Attorney Barrett, are you asking Attorney Barrett?
second, I wasn't completely finished, but yes, I would ask Rebecca and Attorney Bear on that. So I was just wondering if, as part of, as a board, if we're looking at our priorities and stuff like that, this is a great question to have as far as what we want to see in certain sectors of the village, but it's my understanding now that they meet the zoning requirements, but I could be mistaken.
Is there 5 criteria that we looked at? I just remember from Ruckus that one of them was like the impact on the economic health of the village or something like that.
Is the question what you can consider,
Yes.
can't consider when you initially issue? Because this is not a renewal, the answer is basically almost anything. I mean, you could think, we're gonna grant it, or we wanna save it, or what, it doesn't, there's no property interest in it now.
But didn't you have 5 specific criteria that when we looked at, they were, right? And one of them was like the last one, I don't know what it says exactly, but it was pretty broad. Trustee Martin?
I mean, just in the interest of kind of trying to move this forward, is there any way to consider liquor, maybe there's not, any way to consider the liquor license tonight and kind of reserve some judgment around what's done outside? I mean, I think the locus of the concern is what happens outside.
But how do you-
Well, right now, I'm looking at the premises description. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at the premises description, this isn't in the packet, but it was in the last from the last meeting when it was in a committee. So it says, the application doesn't reference any outdoor seating area. So there'd have to be some kind of amendment of the description of the premises, which you can do, which happens all the time. It happened in one of the bars on Oakland Avenue that did some remodeling and
Yeah.
opened up an additional area.
Yeah.
They came back and they requested that the board consider amending the description of their premises to include additional square footage that was not part of the grant of the initial license.
That they already were using.
So,
It's here.
it's, and it even has, that's square feet, right?
But they would, I'm sorry.
Main
Just-
level, so it specifically lists the square footage on the main level. And it doesn't, and it references the basement, it does not, there's no reference to outdoor seating at this point, but in the application.
Trustee Martin.
To put a finer point on that though, if they want to do that, they'd have to come back to us.
Right.
And say, here's how we want to set up the patio, does this look okay?
Right.
To amend the premise, so right now, can I just recap and see if this is correct? If we grant it tonight, it is they cannot use it for their patio at this moment,
Oh,
because it's not in the description of the premises.
that's the way I read the application.
Okay. So you're voting on the premise that is outlined, which is indoors and,
It even has the square footage, I think it says it's the square footage on the first level and references basement, and I don't know, I've never seen it, but I don't know if there's finished space in the basement.
If it was approved, once he got approval for occupancy, we would ask him to come back and do the premise amendment. We as clerks and department revenue really want specifics, like if they're storing it in the cooler downstairs, because if not, it opens them up to being, if they have to come and inspect, to inspection in all of that area, which people prefer not to do. So either way, they have to come back with some sort of amendment. They don't have the build out yet, so they can't specifically tell me, we're storing alcohol in this back cooler,
but can I ask,
in this office.
can I ask a question? Trustee Mata.
I'm unclear, is the actual application in the packet? I don't see it.
It's not in the packet that you have for this evening, but I pulled up the application that was before JPL at the committee meeting on June 3rd.
Don't we always look at the application?
Is the application in there?
Yes,
But it's not in tonight.
yeah, I think it was just an oversight.
What I want to, so my question was, did that do it, Trustee Mata?
Yeah.
Okay, was just following up on Mike's, if you're a board member and you feel it's really important, as Trustee Maher had stated that, it's going into the residential area, and so you wanted to see that, then even if it passed tonight, they have the liquor license, so it'd be really hard for them in that position to vote yes, because you don't have that description to make you feel comfortable that it's gonna be landscaped the right way, or whatever it may be, it's awkward.
We wouldn't issue the liquor license until they got occupancy for planning development, which we would put in the clause that they have to come back with premise before occupancy, but we won't issue it until I get the all clear from planning and development.
And this isn't unusual, I mean, it's proverbial chicken and the egg, because
Yep.
you don't want to build it out unless you get the liquor license. Otherwise, if you build it out and say, I
Right.
did deny the liquor license,
Yep.
you got a beautiful emptiness, right? So,
Right.
this isn't, I mean,
Yeah, you don't wanna-
this isn't unusual.
Okay, Trustee McKay.
So procedurally, if we approved it tonight, and then for some reason the lease didn't work out, negotiations failed, then the license would come back to us because there wouldn't be occupancy. Correct? You can't keep a license if you don't have occupancy.
Well, yeah, but we have an ordinance that talks about non-use as well.
You would
It would just
never,
come back.
it doesn't become like a property, I think I understood what Trustee McKay was saying. Because we've always been advised, don't issue one that becomes a property
Well, but non-use is different, and that would be a clear cut of non-use.
for 3 months. Non-use for 3 months, correct?
I think it's the 90 days.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact.
That's, yeah, okay, weird. Yes.
Isn't, I may be wrong, but my understanding is the liquor license is actually issued to the location address.
Right.
Right.
So if we're not able to secure a lease, there is no location address.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's true.
It's issued.
Thank you that's what I was trying to say. You said it much more.
Okay, Trustee Amenta, then Trustee Warren, then Trustee McKay, then I still
So
have
we
my.
could approve the liquor license, but not extend the premises to the patio. at some point in the future, we could
That's,
not approve extending the patio.
yep, that's what's in front of you. No patio right now.
No patio, okay.
Trustee Warren and then trustee McKay.
So looking at the factors that we're considering here in terms of whether to grant the license, I noticed that one is, whether it's necessary to the financial success of the proposed business. I'm wondering what percentage of your revenue you anticipate coming from your wine sales?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, well, the majority of it. And the business model itself, when we talk about the whole Class B, Class C, we were flexible in our committee meeting, whichever we thought might work more effectively. But the reality is, we aren't going to put event to kitchens, we're not hiring cook staff. It's going to be basically desserts and after dinner kinds of things, charcuterie, things that would kind of fly in that kind of venue. And so food is not going to be probably more than, I think it's 34% or something.
So, just to go on that, because I asked the question to the clerk, if it was based on, which makes sense, like, do you have a hood, or you're cooking your food, but it's not, from what we're hearing tonight, it is, if 50% of your sales would be, your gross sales would be made from food.
It would have to be consistent.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But, so it's not based on whether you have a kid.
So the idea is, like, if you base it, consider more of a bar to a restaurant, your child would have to be able to come in there and sit by themselves, 17 and under. They probably would not be able to. They could probably grab a coffee or a dessert and leave,
Right.
Oh,
but they would not be able to sit in there,
they couldn't
You know,
have a dessert?
not unattended, no.
Well, on a Class B license, we wouldn't
Okay.
allow it.
I just can see my kid wandering in,
Ideally,
because like,
if
City
you're
Market's right
not
there.
a full-service restaurant, they're more considered a bar. That's kind of the definition of where your food is.
So the only reason I think the question's been asked many times is because we're low on full liquor licenses, and so I love your concept, and I see it all the time in Paris, and it's very relaxing. But I also see when I go into Paris and they have that same description of an atmosphere, and that they sell a ton of desserts. And the only reason I ask that is, I mean, desserts are just as expensive as a glass of wine, and so.
And I would hope to sell a ton of desserts. But I think the issue is with, if I could do that on a Class C license, that would be fine, but I can't, from what I can gather, I'm not gonna get that on a Class C license. I heard earlier here today, if you wanna sell wine, you're on a Class B.
No, not if you have food.
And I can't guarantee, so if you think about our operation, it's really an experiential operation, but the fact of the matter is you're serving beer, wine, coffee, soda, and a wine club, and there will be other things that from a liquor sales standpoint, it would be very difficult to push desserts in excess of income from those other streams.
And so you said majority, would you say, how much are you make from your food?
Yeah.
You said 30, is that what you
It's
said?
gonna be, yeah, so-
About 30, okay, thank you. Trustee McKay, and then trustee Warren, I can't remember, and then trustee Bachhorst.
I haven't spoken yet.
She's before me.
Oh, okay, have you spoken yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, trustee McKay, and then trustee Bachhorst, and then trustee.
I appreciate you considering Shorewood for your business. I think it looks lovely, and I love the concept. I think a lot of times, I probably have gone into restaurants that were hoping to make over 50% of their sales in food, and I only order a glass of wine or one beer and sit on my laptop, so I think I would be much more welcome in your establishment. But anyway, I also had, so that aside, and my thanks to you, I've also been of the mindset of, I know that we are low on liquor license, but I would much rather support a business that's in front of us rather than the mythical Mexican restaurant that we've been hearing about for 4 years, that's had plenty of time to come before us, or, not to make light, but there are always ideas and hopes in the pipeline, but we have somebody here who's done the research, who is asking, and as far as the concern around, the area is zoned commercial, it's not like we're, someone's repurposing a 3-family home and trying to go into the middle of the block. So I am comfortable with the location, and so with that, I would like to make a motion to I move to approve the application for a Class B license for CKC Trio LLC doing business as Gather, 3948 North Maryland Ave, Shorewood, Wisconsin 53211, and direct the clerk to issue the license upon approval of occupancy with planning and development.
Second.
Something to consider is whether or not for the future, do we want everyone to have a chance to speak? Who wants to speak before a motion is made? Not in particular to this, but just think about that. Trustee Buckles.
Okay, thank you. So I also appreciate the willingness to do business in Shorewood, and I also think, as President Rozak said, that this is quite a unique model that is, well, for our area, but worldwide it is a treasure. I hear Trustee Maher's concerns regarding noise in the neighborhood. And that is a valid point. I also wanted to say that we've been, making a lot of really big decisions over many years regarding, and we have heard similar things mentioned, including with the Metro Market and other places about, noise, shade, a variety of things. It's valid to watch, but I want to also, as Trustee McKeag said, support, the businesses that are in front of us, that are doing the hard work, that are willing to invest in the community, and we're not always the easiest to do business with, especially of late. So I appreciate that. I also want to address just the liquor license, because it is unfortunate, and this is one area when we talk about uniting and really pressuring the state, that, we have discussed this as board priorities. Look for more liquor licenses, and that's something, we are down to just a few, but someone is always going to be the last or the second to last, and the decisions that we need to make as a board are weighing people differently based on if they're, the second to last, the third to last. We have unfortunately a limited number, but we also want to encourage places like Mexican restaurants and other places to come to Shorewood. And part of that is showing them that we do use proper criteria when we're evaluating the process, and that we don't discriminate against, certain people and I'm not suggesting that that's going on here, but just for consistency and for being a business or a village where restaurants, bars, and other places do want to do the business. So I am comfortable supporting the motion that is before us this evening. And again, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Trustee Warren. And then Trustee Mento.
I wanted to agree with the sentiments expressed by Trustee McKeag and Trustee Bachhorst. I like your business model, I like your concept, I do plan to support the motion as well. Just in going down the factors, I wanted to ask one question, and maybe this is something that we're doing a traffic and parking study this year, and maybe this is something that will be addressed then, but I'm curious as to whether you have looked into traffic and parking around that area and the impact.
I'm aware, it has been a point of discussion amongst us as partners. I think when you look at a location like ours, especially, and we've looked at a variety of locations, and we continue to look because we aren't sure of the outcome here. Parking is a challenge in our metro area. We're not, if you think about our concept being what it is, strip centers are not real interesting for us. And so if that's the case, then parking is a challenge. My perception is, having been down here on a number of occasions at City Market and parking in that area, it can be a challenge from time to time. Our operating hours being from 3 to 10. City Market closes at 8. Falvo's is now open